time ago.
If you can kind of like
because you weren't even in that one. That was just me.
So you was just live a long time ago.
All right, you guys are live now.
Excuse me. So after we sit, just
live now.
frame us a little bit.
They're catching all of this right now, Randy.
Let me sharpen it. Feel like it's not sharpened.
Yo, t'écoutes, hein, maintenant?
Hein, quoi?
T'écoutes, live.
Non, pas encore. Not yet. Sorry, that was rude. Come on, now, you open this. All right, I think we're good.
As is.
You are producer. Yeah, we're supposed to go live at 9:10.
Oh, word.
Give me a sec, let me just grab my shit.
What time is it now?
You already know.
You guys want to sit down over here?
You don't have a seat? Yeah, you guys can sit. Yeah, you can sit. And, make it like people's is here and stuff, you know what I mean?
No one's in the frame except yelling. So we sitting there waiting.
No, just sit. Let me see, like,
Sitting inside.
and if you guys have, like, there's gonna be some Q&A stuff, you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't worry. Yeah, no.
There's like a, I think a 10-second delay.
It's always like that with live streams.
I'm just showing you.
Yeah.
Okay. Just in case we say the F bomb, we can just say we fuck and then we can just take it out. Okay.
Duke of Earl. No?
So, no?
So, how's everyone?
That was great. Yeah, everyone good? Yeah? You good? You doing that?
Wait, what do you want me to do?
I swear we're live already because this guy was live streaming it.
Are you live streaming?
You were live streaming it already, right?
Oh, they're working here.
Yo,
Are you
were live streaming it already, right? Yeah, I swear we're live already.
KPDI, and it's like the, I don't think are we live streaming? I think we're streaming, but we're not going live.
This is gonna be hilarious.
Until 9:10.
Should we put it on his
Cause I swear
a good
Lone Star
idea.
was just watching that right now on live.
Oh, and we live.
Oh, we live.
What up? Gang set.
See? We live.
This is exactly how I almost not pictured it.
It's not good though.
All right, man.
All right.
Since we live, I guess we're just jumping in.
What time is it, guys?
9:09.
We can wait till 9:10.
Bro. He's sitting back down. He's like that shit. I'm coming back on break. That's what I said. It's hard to watch.
So how many people are viewing right now?
Just us.
That's cool though. That's cool.
Nice.
They'll send a massive text.
Oh.
There you go. All right.
I hope you guys can edit this later on.
Probably not because it's live.
The link should be right on.
You just go to my channel.
Yeah, right.
it's
You
on
go
my
to our
channel.
channels there. Yeah.
Just go to Soundsby Fili.
Yo.
There's a massive smudge on your lens right now.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah.
Go
Yeah,
for
go
it,
ahead. You might as
for it,
well.
go for it. Sorry, go for it.
It's all good. This is raw as fuck.
Those are streets.
That's it.
This is how barbarian flows.
Thank you. It's our barbarian flow, you know.
A million people watching right now are like,
That's how things go viral. Amateur rapper.
You're focused on the craft, not the things around it.
He gets 5%. Intellectual property right there.
That's
on any
it.
verse you put that in.
And all two people can see that, so I got witnesses.
Of course.
kill me, man. Yeah, the chest.
Yo, he's cracking jokes the whole time. No,
No,
it's
you're
good.
good. You're good.
Yeah, you're
You're
good.
good.
Actually, that's good. I like that. I actually like that.
Crunchy chips, I like that.
I might start laughing in the middle of it because I said just see it.
All right, Steph. Steph just gave us the countdown.
All right, let's go.
You can start whatever.
10, 9.
Can we do it officially?
All right, let's do this.
Dude.
Welcome to Just Facts. It's Dolph. I'm Yenny. We have a special guest, a Toronto artist by the name of Fili.
Yes. Thank you, gentlemen. How are you guys doing today?
Good.
Yes. All right. How's everybody?
Doing good, man.
All
How
right,
about you?
right. I'm doing great.
We're
Life's
supposed
great.
to ask you how you are, though.
Oh, my bad. I'm taking over here.
There you go.
Driver's seat. Lovely.
That's it. That's the plan. All right.
So we noticed that you don't have that Toronto generic sound.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're hip hop. You know what I mean? You're the old school. Can you tell me what's your influences?
I mean, my influences are a couple depending on the era of and the state that hip hop was in at the time. You mean if we go back very early, I would say like I always looked up to like Slick Rick, KRS-One, Big Daddy Kane. You know, that's different criteria in hip hop right there. When one's a storyteller, one has flow, one has lyrics. You know, they go, you know, a lot of bars in each stuff. And then if you look at the golden era stuff, you know, I'd say like I looked up to Jay-Z a lot. You know, now people are starting to give me some comparisons here and there. Oh, they hear my music like, oh, you sound like Jay. I'm like, thanks. It's a compliment, but I'm trying to stay away from that. But I mean, I do. Jay was a big inspiration for me. Big, Nas, and don't get me wrong. Like I listen to a lot of Toronto artists now, and we do have a unique sound. I haven't incorporated it yet, but I will intend to do so, just to let people know exactly where I'm from, because you kind of
unique, like the way you are.
Oh,
That's
definitely,
pretty good,
yeah.
It's good advice, man. Don't change is what he's trying to
Oh,
tell you.
man, fair enough.
Keep it Philly, man.
You know what? Sometimes I feel that you could actually incorporate a specific sound, especially if your city has, in your own way. So I really haven't found that yet, right? So, but I won't change, like you said, because I was raised on a different, with different music, I would, you know, say. So I definitely won't change. Yeah. But I will evolve.
There you go. I know based on like your music as well, there's like a real lyricism to it.
Yes.
So in terms of like lyricism, is that what you feel like you want to be known more for? Like if someone were to say, what's Philly about? Is it like about the beats, or is it a party vibe, or is it lyricism? What would you say you describe yourself as?
That's a nice question. That's a nice question. You know, I've always looked into like I always did the whole lyricist part, just due to the fact that at the time when I was growing up, like that's what I paid attention to, lyricism, and I never really produced until later. But I did have an interest in that, right? Because DJs and producers help the MC do that, you know what I mean? But I do want to be known as a lyricist. But with that being said, I mean, there's different categories within like hip hop itself that you can play. So not just lyrics, but like flow and how witty I can be with it, you know, being creative with all those things. That's why sometimes when it comes to choosing like a beat, I like some things that are just simple, that allows me to speak and be actually an instrument with my lyrics and my voice, right? So yeah, I definitely say lyricism is up there, that, you know.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice, because you know, we like, especially because I know a few of the other tracks that you were doing. You like to shout out like your engineer.
Yes.
You know,
Nate.
Nate. Yeah, it's like
Nate,
Nate.
the producer
In the house.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
Nate is watching.
So I hope Nate's watching. Yeah, you know, it's interesting because like there's a few people that I work with, engineers and stuff. One of them being Nate. He a young cat. Ever since I heard his stuff, like producer wise, I was like, yo, how does this guy grab all these samples and create such great sounds, and especially like something different? Like he just takes it and makes it sound like a Nate sound. You know what I mean? Kind of like what Timbaland did with his thing, and like what Pharrell did with his, you know, producing. That's what I saw with Nate. Another engineer that I work with and producer would be William De Niro. Shout out to William De Niro and Four Sound. They helped me out do that, produce some of my music and like put it together. But Nate has been a backbone for me as well. And I always have to shout him out. Kind of like I would say he's my guru. Kind of like what Guru is to Jay-Z, right? Yeah. So that's what Nate is. So I have to give him some shine, you know.
I got a follow up question on this.
Okay, cool.
Speaking of Nate,
Mm-hmm.
is anybody else like you want to collaborate with in terms of producers or artists in Toronto?
Definitely. Like, I mean, there's a lot of producers and artists I'd like to collaborate in Toronto. I can't think of some people off the top of my head. I mean, usually the people that I grew up with and know, one of them being my brother and twin Lone Star, No Love Lost. You know, we've done music together. We've actually we've formed like our old friend group, as you can call it. Like, we were known as like Reapers. It became like a hip hop group all of a sudden. I would say it's just us being us, you know, and if you want to get to know us as one, it'd be Reapers. My longtime friend that I've known since high school too, Dre Specs. He's very raw, and you know, when it comes to hip hop, he's on the like, you know, protect your neck kind of shit. K Sharkey, that's another one of my homies. Actually, Dre Specs and K Sharkey, like before I met Lone Star, that's who the guys I started off rapping with. It was interesting because we used to go as a group called CSS. So it was like,
What does it stand for?
I think it was Convicts. I used to be called Spanish and Specs.
Oh, damn.
Or Convict, Spec, and Spanish, yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So a lot of people don't know that, which is interesting.
Sorry, go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
I was going to mention like other artists in Toronto. I mean, like there's a lot of artists that are buzzing in the city that I'd like to get to collaborate with. I just think that we need to find a proper chemistry. I don't want to throw too many names out there. I just want to make sure it happens first, right?
Happen organically or whatever it is.
I feel
yeah.
like
I know you mentioned Reapers as well.
Yes.
I know back in the day you had won a songwriting contest. Right?
Yes.
Want to talk about that a little bit?
Definitely. It was a great experience actually. It was my brother Lone Star. He got in contact. Shout out to Freddie Fame, by the way, in the Fifth. You know, Freddie always put stuff on for the city. He had 100 Miles, the clothing brand, who they've been around since the 90s. You can think of any 90s artists that were popping back then, like Biggie, Pac, exactly, with Above the Rim and stuff. You had like Big L and stuff that were wearing 100 Miles. And I mean, that's a Toronto thing too. So they actually were trying to host a show with Freddie Fame, and they made it happen. Just so happens that like I wasn't even in tune with that at the time. I was just literally like shopping for beats, trying to write lyrics, and then Lone Star was like, "Yo, I signed us up for this. What do you think?" And I had like 2 weeks to write this verse, and I'm like, I took the challenge. I was like, bet.
So wait, 2 weeks?
2 weeks, and people had the
man.
track.
Yeah.
The track was produced by T Major, so shout out to T Major. The track was like the beat was given to artists way ahead. You know what I mean? Because like they I think they promoted this like a month in advance. I could be wrong. And Lone Star decided like literally like 2 weeks before anything, like, yo, we're doing this track.
Yo, he had faith. He had faith.
Yeah, no, he always does. No, he's a believer, man. Like, yo, he pushes me. He always pushes me. So he gave it to me. I said I accept the challenge, and you know what I mean? Like I got to work. Like literally every day at lunchtime, I'd eat my lunch quick and then head to like a quiet room at work and just start penning it out. Like, because I told myself like this track has to be, you know, timeless. This every bar, every melody in the track has to be timeless. And fast forward, we got to perform. Not gonna lie, when I performed like in front of everybody, because it was such a fresh rhyme that I actually choked on stage a bit. Ooh. Yeah, but it was the last. It was the last like 4 bars or something. And then I remember like I looked at Lone Star. But you know, the funny thing about that is, Gary from 100 Miles, he was in tune. He caught on. And he actually, when we had to perform again, and he actually kind of said, yo, I heard some stuff. For people who felt like they need to go again, you can perform your track again. And I ended up doing it again. And, you know, 75 artists later, we came out on top. Shout out to everybody that participated in that. Yeah. Some artists are doing great right now themselves.
Good stuff,
yeah. And we got a publishing deal. Won the songwriting competition for 100 Miles. Yeah. A lot of good energy when that happened.
There you go, man.
Yeah.
Are you thinking of doing that again? Going back to that
competition?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really focused on like making good music right now. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'd love to do competitions and kind of show people my craft, and how competitive I can be, because it is a competitive sport. You know, hip hop being the way it is with you know, battles and stuff, and trying to write like the best rhyme and trying to outshine the next person. It's good for the sport, but I think right now, at the time, like where I'm currently at, I really want to make sure that people understand who I am and what I am and what kind of sound I'm coming with. So I become a household name, because the whole point of this is to be a legend and have timeless music. So 20, 30 years from now, 40, 50 years from now, you'll still hear my stuff like in movies or, you know, people are going to want to talk and be like, yo, I can tell you about this great lyricist, Fili, you know, like
Yeah.
I want my name to be passed down like that. So I want to focus on that, put in my 10,000 hours.
There you go.
Yeah.
Like I know, like most legends come like, okay, they have like a message that comes with who they are, like their brand or their identity. Do you have like a message or like a value you want to promote through your music, or is it kind of based on experiences?
Yeah, I would say like it's based on experiences. It's funny. I was having a conversation recently about that where I was like, how do you write songs? You know, how do people write songs? Like, you know, I hear some artists rap some stuff and I'm just like, I can't really, that doesn't feel authentic. It just sounded good. Like the melody sounded good, and I'm not taking away from that, but I'm trying to like see, like for me, it's like my music is based off experience, right? I've been through, like everyone else has been through a lot of stuff, and I can't be like, you know, I'm the only one that went through it, but I'm pretty sure that people can relate to me, because sometimes people find themselves in dark places and they feel like, yo, they can't speak to anybody. But then, you know, if they hear a song, it becomes a soundtrack of their life. And I'd want that, because I had the same thing happening with like Rockefeller Records and stuff. Like I mean, they were a little bit more gutter in certain aspects of things, but it helped me release some anger, whether I was listening to State Property or listening back to Jay-Z when he had like issues with his dad and whatnot. And sometimes you can just relate to this. So I want to be able to put out my experiences there for people to understand that they're not the only ones, right? Yeah.
So what's next for you now?
Album coming out, you know, put out the album. It's untitled right now. I'm sorry. I wish I can give you guys, but I can't say. Hopefully in like a month or 2 years, we're going to be getting the album. It's mostly the production is done by Nate Smith. And he mixed it, and he's mastering it also. It was recorded at Nate's studio, recorded at Force Sound as well. I might have 1 or 2 tracks produced by me. You might see some guest appearances. Nothing too fancy, but
So you don't want to tease it yet. You want to tell us
Yeah,
who
yeah.
yet? But
yeah, I mean,
No
you know,
hints?
No hints. It's kinda on the down low, you know. I want to surprise people. Element of surprise. I'll let you guys know after we're done this.
Okay.
Yes.
And just about the video, though.
Yes.
Like, who directed the video? Tell us more about the video.
So my homie, my family, my brother Disquets, he directed the video. Shout out to him. Yeah, you know, I like working with family, to be honest, because they know what I've been through. I know what they've been through. We've been through stuff together, so they can kind of capture what I have in mind. So they know me best. Not to say I don't like working with other people, but you know, when you just believe in your team and in the craft that they hold, the talent that they have, and I want to push everyone in my team to be like, yo, believe in it, give it 10,000 hours, push forward, and let's make this happen for all of us, you know what I mean? Like, so that way he can reach out to other artists and maybe direct videos for them, and so on and so forth, as well as another homie, Shaq Deminati. He directed him, and actually Disquets directed my first video. It's almost gonna be a year since I've released that. It's called Fuckboy. That came to fruition really nice with a lot of the homies.
The Shaq.
Yeah. So they directed the video, and they put it into the vision board.
All right.
Yeah.
Good. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I want to hear this to your album.
I mean, I'd love to play snippets of the album, but you know what? I think I'd love to do like another live stream for you know, people to listen around the world, and keep the streams going on YouTube to kind of, you know, relate to what I'm doing. You know, I'm pretty sure there's artists that want to kind of understand formulas of the trade as well. I forgot what I was gonna say. But yeah, with that being said, like if I could do that with the album, it would be great. And not only that, just streaming for like for people to understand other music fanatics, but like, you know, I'm a proud Latino, Ecuadorian at heart. So I want the family down in Ecuador to kind of see that, you know, your boy's doing something up here, you know, like have, you know, the grandma who can't come up here, or the primas and primos who, you know, they're huge supporters, bro. They're huge supporters, so I love it, because you know, I'm pretty sure that they don't even speak English, but they're probably tuning into this right now, and like that's love, man. I got
with the vibe.
You want to give him a little message?
In
be in
Spanish,
Spanish, man.
in
Yeah,
Spanish.
man.
Oh, my Spanish is a little crusty, so. But mi familia, les amo y gracias por todo, por soportarme, por todo lo que es por YouTube y todo eso.
Boom.
I almost did the Spanish thing. YouTube.
YouTube, eh?
YouTube.
We're gonna do that. We're gonna take that part Turn to a reggaeton track. You know,
There you go. There's oh, you know what?
Remix the whole thing.
Actually, I don't even want to. I don't want to put something out the bag, but just look out for something like that.
Okay, boy.
Yeah.
I knew it was coming, man. It's in your heart. I know.
It's in the blood. You know, so that's big.
All right, and where aside from YouTube, where can we find you?
All my social media handles are at Soundsby Fili. That's for Twitter, Instagram, even on. I have a page on Facebook, Soundsby Fili. On YouTube, it's Soundsby Fili Soundsby, one word. Space Philly if you want to catch any of the videos or stuff, or just look up the hashtag. Honestly, I'm pretty sure that hashtag, like that's my hashtag. So you go on Google, you put hashtag Sounds by Philly, and everything will pop up.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that.
All right, guys, let's wrap it up.
All right, thank you, gentlemen, for having me here. Thank you. Just facts.
Thank you, Philly.
Yes. Appreciate that, brother.
Facts. And peace.
Deuces.
Where's the clapping?
Where's the clapping? Ain't get no clapping. Ain't get no fans.
That was good.
Appreciate that.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you live?
Is that light?